Hello folks, it's Gordon here. I hope all is well with you. This video I've called the 2 biggest problems in women's football part 2. And I'm sure you will remember and thoroughly enjoyed watching part 1. And let's get it out of the way right from the beginning. Of course, these are 2 biggest problems in football, full stop, not just women's football, men's football. These problems have been bugging me for donkey's years. So let's get to it. Part 1, I spoke about the referee being mic'd up and stopping the clock to stop the cheating that happens. The team is winning or getting the result they want for the last 20 minutes or 25 minutes of the match. Every team does this. The goalkeeper will go down injured, outfield players will go down injured and require medical treatment, and then they make lots of substitutions because it wastes time. The time it takes to do all this and get all the injuries sorted is never fully added on at the end of the game. In rugby, they just stop the clock. So you don't get that kind of thing in rugby because it'll stop it in football as soon as it stops working, and it won't work when the clock is stopped. It's not difficult. Why can't football do this? Anyway, that was part 1. Part 2, speaking about VAR, video assistant referee, and if there's a video check in rugby, the clock is stopped. When there's a video check in football, the clock still runs. I can't believe it. This video I'm talking about a corner / goal kick, because I did notice this in the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, and in football, this has been something that's been bugging me for 30, 40 years. In football, when, say, there's a corner or a goal kick that is awarded wrongly, i.e. a corner's awarded and it should have been a goal kick, or a goal kick is awarded and it should have been a corner, and very clearly so, we can all see it on the replay at home. And the commentators will say, oh, that definitely wasn't a corner, or it definitely wasn't a goal kick, blah, 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 blah. But the incorrect decision is allowed to play out on the field. Now, a corner obviously is a massive attacking goal opportunity. I think this might even happened in the Women's World Cup final. A team was incorrectly awarded a corner. They didn't score from it, but imagine if they had scored from it when it never should have been awarded. Now, could they use VAR for this, the video assistant ref? Now, a lot of people will say no. The VAR was introduced to see if a ball had crossed the line for a goal or offsides. But when VAR is used for offside nowadays, it's the VAR decision and the offside decision is pretty much accepted by the teams and the managers and the coaches. Never used to be. Offside decisions were hugely contested. Now they just seem to be accepted. A bit like Hawkeye decisions in tennis. It's just accepted. People might not like the decision, but it's just accepted. When it comes to fouls or foul play, their judgment calls, that kind of thing is not really going to work with VAR. But a corner that everyone on the replay, all the commentators can see it, everyone at home watching can see it, that it was clearly wrong. Not the borderline ones, the ones that are clearly wrong. Here's what can happen. The VAR room, the refs, can speak to the ref on the pitch and then reverse the decision. Now, sometimes goal kicks take a long time to be taken and corners take a long time to be taken. Plenty of time for the VAR ref to communicate to the ref on the field and have the decision changed. Now, you might think that's not going to work. Well, it does work in rugby. In the same way that I spoke in the last video about stopping the clock with the referee being mic'd up, it works perfectly well in rugby. And this thing about overturning decisions works well in rugby. So an example in rugby, the ball might get kicked into touch after a knock-on, or for example, and as the teams get ready to take the line out, the referee will say, oh no, hang on fellas, or no, hang on girls, it was actually a knock on, or it went straight into touch, so it's a scrum. And the on-field decision from the ref is changed by the VAR room, or the technical match official, the TMO it's called in rugby. And again, the players just accept it. They might shrug their shoulders, they might question it by the ref once or twice, but it's accepted. So this could be done in football, and I say this has bugged me for 40 years plus, because 40 years ago, back in the 80s, you could see on the replay that a decision was clearly wrong, and the question was always asked, well, hang on, if we can see it at home, why can't something be done about it on the pitch? Now, this was before the days of the VAR room in football, but in a big international tournament, and the Women's World Cup that I just watched for an example, before the match, they focus on the ref and the lines, the assistant refs they're called. I was going to say linesmen and linespeople. They're called assistant refs now, and tell you who they are, what country they're from, and then they go to the VAR room, all these video screens, and there's maybe 4 officials there, and they give the names of all 4 officials and where they're from, and show these massive wall of screens that they're all looking at. So they can see it on the same replays that we're seeing it at home. So if we're all seeing it at home and it's clearly wrong, so it shouldn't, a goal kick or corners I'm talking about, remember, and the commentators can see it and say so, all these officials in the VAR room, they can see it. I don't understand it. In this day and age, in 2023, all you've got to do is communicate to the ref. Now, there already is communication between the VAR room and the refs in football. So why can't it happen? It's a multi-million, multi-billion pound industry. Football as the global game. So in such a massively money-orientated game at the elite level, where these decisions have huge consequences, if a corner is incorrectly awarded and the team scores and it's the only goal of the game, it's massively important. So how can it still be in this day and age that can be done incorrectly and for it to stand? I don't understand it. So there we go. Is that a first world problem? It's definitely a first world problem. But it's been bugging me for 40 years, and it bloody well still bugs me now. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below wherever you had to be seeing this video. Signing off for now. Wishing you as ever health and happiness. And I'll speak to you again soon.